So in this video, I would like to share what is happening in our solar system for May 2020 and for the next several months. So there's a lot happening. We're having 3 planets going in retrograde. I'm recording this video on, I guess it's 13th of May. Yeah. So starting off, Saturn. Saturn started slowing down around 6th of May, and right now, yesterday, it completely stopped momentarily, and starting today, it's going backward, and it's gonna go backward until September. And I actually have dates here. It's gonna go back. So right now, Saturn is in Aquarius, 1st degree of Aquarius, and it's gonna go back to Capricorn and all the way back to 25th degree of Capricorn until September 29th. And there is a couple more planets going in retrograde, but I would like to share what is the meaning of having transit Saturn in retrograde. Retrograde motion is basically an optical illusion because right now Saturn is much closer to our planet Earth than Sun. So this means that according to ancient astrology, the physical proximity determines the impacts of that planet or celestial bodies. Saturn, as a higher manifestation, it represents stability, structure, and physical manifestation. So how you can use this planetary configuration for your personal benefits to maximize your growth? Well, focus on Saturnian matters. Focus on Saturnian matters. So when Saturn is in retrograde, we're expecting that a lot of things are going in a slower pace. We may need to work much harder and getting more responsibilities and duties because they are what Saturn represents. Yeah. Particularly, it's very strong. Its dignity is strong, both in Aquarius and Capricorn. In fact, those people who were born around 1990, 1989 and 1992, actually, if your Saturn is strong, if your Saturn sign is either Capricorn or Aquarius or Libra, this could be a very good time for you because you would be more naturally in tune to working hard and be willing to accept responsibilities. And this is actually a really good time until September. You can lay out some of the most strongest and stable, important foundation in your life. And in order to maximize your personal growth, be willing to put more efforts and take the right approach. Be more conservative and follow the rules. Don't violate any rules. And you'll be better off by thinking more of long-term projects instead of short-term. So in terms of personal life, we as an individual are going to grow up, and this is actually a really great time to do inner work and introspect. Look within yourself, of course, because retrograde energy is more reflective. It is feminine, receptive. So any answers that you're seeking would be within yourself. And you'll be able to find answers within you instead of looking for them in the outside. And Saturn rules boundary, rules, principles. Whatever boundary or rules, limitations that are no longer working for you are going to break down. And this is a great opportunity for us to reevaluate what kind of limitations that we have embraced and that we have stick to. Ask yourself, is it really worth it to keep it? If not, let it go. During this period of time, you can almost like reset your own boundary and reset your limits and reset your goals as well. Saturn represents authority figures. It could be your parental figure or bosses. It could be your own inner authority. In some way, you may be challenged to become more self-disciplined, working harder, putting more consistent efforts into whatever you do, and taking care of your responsibilities and being more responsible being. This is going to be different for every individual. Let's say if you have Saturn in the 6th house or transiting Saturn in the 6th house, which means your rising sign would be a Leo or Virgo, your working environment may have changed. You may need to implement different lifestyles to improve your health and the work environment and improve your productivity. All these things are represented by the 6th house. And whoever that has strong Capricorn or Aquarius or Saturn in their own charts will feel these impacts more strongly. So be patient and expect things to go at a slower pace. But this does not mean that you cannot achieve a lot of things. But in reality, you can build the real strength through this period. Being grounded and rooted for what you really support, what you genuinely support. Certainly there are going to be a lot of restructure because retrograde energy requires a lot of redos and repetitions. Through repetitions, we learn the lessons. Retrograde itself is about repetition, and Saturn as well. So this double emphasis of repetition creates more drills, exercises, and so starting of Saturn, around May 6th, Saturn started slowing down. And yesterday, it almost stopped momentarily. And I'm recording this video on 13th of May, by the way. And from today until September 26th, I actually have dates here, September 29th, it's going to go backward, all the way back to 25th degree of Capricorn. Now it's in tropical Aquarius, the 1st degree. So what does that mean? So retrograde motion is basically an optical illusion. In reality, retrograded planet is actually a lot closer to us, our planet, than the sun. This means that these impacts of the planet are going to be much stronger than usual. And Saturn represents responsibilities, duty, and structure, authority, and organization, productivity, accomplishment, physical manifestation. Anything that helps us keep the status quo is represented by Saturn. On a personal life, this could be your habit, your work ethic, your personal boundary in various contexts, whether it be relationship, career, or health, lifestyles. Could be about workout routines or your social circles. Everyone has different charts, therefore Saturn is going to affect everyone in different way. Since now it's in Aquarius and Capricorn, those who have strong influences of Aquarius and Capricorn as well as Saturn, perhaps Libra, because Saturn is exalted in Libra, are going to feel most strongly. But other people will feel it as well. And here's how you can possibly benefit from this astrological configuration. So until September, it's almost like a half of a year, 5 to 6 months from now, we as a collective are going through a lot of shifts, substantial organizational restructure in various levels, on personal, societal, and interpersonal levels. Because it is in retrograde, we are learning the lessons through repetition. So for the next 6 months or so, don't expect things to go fast. We're gonna build a real sure foundation of whatever that we want to build at a slow, steady pace. Just put in your effort on a consistent, persistent way, and just work hard. But don't go overboard though, because Capricorn, both Capricorn and Saturn, rules moderation, conservative methods. On a collective level, we may be more serious and sober up, because Saturn has this serious energy to it. This is actually a really great time for us to look within ourselves and reevaluate what kind of boundaries we have been holding on to, and review it, dive deep into yourself. And it is necessary to streamline your lifestyle. Just let go of what doesn't work for you and start investing more into what helps you, what brings you value. Even if it doesn't give you the immediate results, it's going to be worth it. Capricorn, both Capricorn and Saturn, rules delay but a sure success when you do your homework. And your homework is putting your effort on a consistent basis. So everyone's going to be different. If Capricorn is in the 6th house, this could be related to your health, lifestyle, work environment. Alright, so interestingly, my building just had a fire alarm, and people from this entire building had to walk out of this building, and now it's all good. So maybe it means something. So Saturn retrograde, it could possibly represent a lot of redos and disruptions of any sort, and it could possibly indicate some sort of disruption. So if you are working on any project or whatever that you're planning at this moment for the next several months or so, just think of a buffer time, just in case. And always check facts. Base your decision in physical evidence. You don't have to be attached to it, but you need to give more credits to evidence. You may need to base your decision on physical evidence and follow the rules. Think realistically. Overall, this would be a good time to deploy patience and develop self-discipline and improve productivity as well as work ethics. Now, Jupiter is going in retrograde as well. Jupiter is in Capricorn. Technically, it's not really strong in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter is all about luck, expansion, growth, synchronicity, abundance of any sort. When Jupiter, the planet of vision, is in Capricorn, this is a good time to start manifesting your visions and taking care of practical steps. Jupiter is expansive. Both of them have quite opposite energies to each other, because Capricorn is about contraction, structure, limitation, rules, whereas Jupiter is about expansion, growth, permissiveness, allowance. When Jupiter is in retrograde, we as collective may become more philosophical and start seeking for the meanings of life, asking ourselves big questions, asking other people big questions. When Jupiter is in forward movement, it represents physical growth, whereas when it's in retrograde, this is about inner growth. So during this period of time, the growth may not be so evident. You can think of retrograded motion as charging up. You're upgrading yourself. Once in a while, you need to update your software on your phone or on your laptop. And when you do this, you're being asked to quit other programs so that your device can solely focus on upgrading. So you can think of it like that. When planets are in retrograde, you're being asked to let go of other considerations that are seemingly less important and really focus on the planets, the lessons of the planets that are in retrograde. It's pretty rare that many planets are in retrograde at the same time, especially I'm going to mention about Venus, because Venus are going in retrograde more rarely than Jupiter or Saturn. Those outer planets frequently go retrograde. So for the next 4 to 5 months until September, think of your visions and work on your belief systems. What is your attitude? What's your life mottos? What is it that you are pursuing throughout your life? What do you stand for? How do you find meanings of life? And how do you define success? Everyone has different definition of success, and once in a while, as we gain experience, our perspective keeps changing, and our definition of certain things also change. So don't be surprised when you are thinking differently, and these shifted belief systems can possibly result in different types of actions that you take on a daily basis. So introspection is so important. And 2020, the year 2020, represents structure, stability, and as you can see, in different parts of the world, stability is being challenged, and we need to redefine what is it that makes our life stable. Can we trust the organization, the structure that we have relied on? Are they trustworthy? Are those authority figures trustworthy? Is your inner authority reliable? What is it based in? So all those kind of questions can be asked. And for the most part of this year, there are trio, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. They are all together in Capricorn. And Pluto is in retrograde as well. Pluto is about total destruction, total renewal, and transformation. It represents fear as a lower manifestation, but as a higher manifestation, it represents rebirth, healing, renewed identity, transformation, shape-shifting, alchemy. So there are some deep stuffs going on, and all those belief systems and your daily environment structures. And Saturn also represents work, so a lot of people may lose job, literally, because Pluto literally wipes out everything. And it's like when you think of farming, every once in a while, like every 5 to 10 years, farmers burn a portion of land entirely and let it rest for several years or so that that portion of land can rest and start growing more nutrients, and that is one way of balancing the ecosystem, because you can't really constantly keep extracting nutrients from the earth. You need to let it rest. And after this healing period, earth produces more trees, sprouts, and a lot of different things. So this year, for the next 5 months especially, we're going to be challenged to transform our belief system, transform our our day-to-day interaction, routine, a type of work, and Saturn also represents a psychological complex, facing fear. Pluto also represents fear. But this is more of a deep-rooted subconscious fear that you may not even recognize, whereas Saturn's fear is more of a learned, programmed fear. It's more of resistance, something that you want to avoid. Pluto's fear, you may be almost like panic or frightened about facing this type of fear. So this double emphasis can create a lot of inner conflicts or external conflicts as well. But the good thing is the planet of luck, expansion, wisdom, Jupiter, is in between these two planets. So when you focus on Jupiterian aspects, which is about spirituality, philosophy, and wisdom of any sort, learning in general. But this type of learning is not restricted to a mundane skills or knowledge. Jupiter represents academics, law, politics, and anything that allows you to see the big picture, big trends of any sort. Your belief system. It could be philosophy. It could be film as well. It could be foreign culture. Anything that is somewhat exotic for you on a personal level. So explore around and you're going to learn something new, and that can help you change your belief system and help you implement different type of habits, form healthy habits. So that is what I'm saying. Jupiter in retrograde, we're going to be in the process of shifting our belief system. This is a pretty deep stuff, and I'm looking at the chart right now. Yeah, Pluto is in retrograde. On subconscious level, we're kind of aware of what is going on, what we are being afraid of, but now that visible planets are in retrograde, these things are going to be triggered in an external physical level, meaning that this change can directly affect our day-to-day environments. And one thing I want to mention is Venus going in retrograde starting 12th of May. And this one is going to be relatively short because Venus is close to Sun. I actually have a date here. So from May 12th to June 25th, Venus is going to be in retrograde in Gemini. Right now, Venus is around 21st degree of Gemini, and it's going to go back all the way to 5th degree of Gemini. So those who have any planets in Gemini or Gemini rising is going to feel the most. But everyone has Gemini in their own charts somewhere, so everyone can feel it. And what does that mean? Well, Venus in retrograde, Venus rules money, love, relationship, beauty, self-worth, anything that has value, anything that has physical value in it. On psychological level, we are going to reevaluate our value system. What is valuable? What we consider as valuable may no longer truly valuable. And again, this also has to do with belief systems. And Venus is in Gemini, and it's pretty comfortable in the sign. So we may be learning a lot. We may be more active in communications, learning new things, and learning what you think is valuable, learning new skills and collecting information. Venus in retrograde, it may represent that you may be reconnected to people from the past. Could be your friends or partner, ex, or family members, or whoever that is. And you may be more diplomatic in regards to relationship or dealing money or physical matters. To be honest, this is a really great time to learn something. Learn something that you truly enjoy, because Venus is the planet of love, joy. Well, technically it's love. So anything that has to do with hands-on skills, artistic craftsmanship, drawing, music, or DIY crafters, sewing, or writing, communication, reading, learning new skills. Gemini rules so many different things that are directly related to our mundane, ordinary life. And any type of group activities would be helpful, and you may be reconnected to a small group of people, a team or friends from the past, so that you can reconcile some unfinished business. For those of you Taurus rising or Libra rising, or anyone has any planets in Gemini, you may re-examine your life thoroughly and with having like a scientific mindset, and take things apart and putting things together, come up with a new solution. Because Gemini is the sign of improvement. It is very logical, communicative, and organized. So you may feel that the way you think is being shifted. What you consider valuable may change. And it also applies to everyone on a collective level. Yeah, so a lot going on. And on May 22nd, we are having New Moon in Gemini, and this is a very important time, I think, because Mercury and Venus are exactly together at around 21st degree of Gemini. This is going to be very powerful. Also, yeah, those outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, are in conjunction, and all of them are going in retrograde, and they are giving easy aspect to New Moon and New Sun. New Moon and Sun in Gemini. So this is very positive. So every new moon represents new beginning. When it's in Gemini, we can plant the seeds of new thoughts. We can set out an intention to develop certain skills and study certain topics, and those outer planets are going to help you learn those skills and bring stability into your life by actively talking, reading, speaking, and sharing with others. And you can start connecting the dots. So starting from the middle of May and for the next month or so, a lot of people are going to find new piece of information that can change the way they think and the way work around their day-to-day responsibilities. Lastly, there's one more thing that I want to mention. So Venus and Mercury in Gemini are squaring Neptune in Pisces. So all these planets are strong in terms of dignity. And the square aspect can bring a new challenge in regards to developing your visions. The best way to do is to use your creativity, imagination. Mercury challenges Neptune. Neptune is about your vision. Mercury is facts. So you may have a new idea about your visions, how to manifest it, and this could be mostly based in your inspiration rather than the factual data. So there is like a 2 layers of messages here. So if your work involves in Piscean matters or Neptunians, such as music, arts, films, or pharmacy, medical fields, or chemistry, oil, or virtual reality of any sort, it could be related to spiritual practice or research work, isolation, studio, creative work, writing, fiction, could be a lot of different things. If your work involves one of those areas, you'll be better off by incorporating more of facts or new contexts, new communication styles, and lightheartedness. Bring in more humor into your work. Or it doesn't have to be your work, it could be about relationship or your family, home, environments. Bring in more Geminian qualities. Don't take things too seriously, but look at how things are working logically. You can start planning, organizing events, and just bringing more structures into your visions, your plans, your envision, your imagination. And if your work involves more of Geminian qualities such as writing, speaking, learning, and teaching, media, social media, or researching, gathering information. What else? Gemini also represents science, mathematics, and business in general, commercial activities, marketing, advertising. All types of business are actually ruled by Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn. So most people, I guess, today are closely related to Gemini. So in this case, if your work is primarily based in Gemini, you'll be better off by incorporating Piscean activities such as imagination and just allowing yourself to be loosened up. Don't overwork. Just go with the flow, do whatever you can, but don't get attached to the results of what you're doing. Pisces is mysterious, and be more adaptable, be flexible. Instead of trying to put yourself into a strict rules or principles, allow yourself to do more experiments. Pisces also represents rest, relaxation. So taking a break can actually help you better become more productive and find solutions of any issues, because Gemini also represents your ability to find solutions when it comes to daily environments, mundane activities. So take some break and think of a long-term investment. Or it could be simply as like doing meditation, guided meditation. Just zone out, don't think, withdraw from social media for a certain period of time. Stop watching news or stop texting. Sometimes it could be very healing and therapeutic for you. Just go on a vacation. Even if you stay at home, when you are constantly thinking about a lot of different things, you're not really resting. You can start journaling, or even if you're not a painter, you can start painting. Just express yourself in a more creative way. Allow yourself to be more free-floating. In that way, you can get inspiration and come up with really great ideas that you can implement on different areas of your life. So hopefully this information is helpful for you, and let me know how you think. I would love to read your comments. Feel free to share your feedback, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!